channel. So today we are going to talk about knitting. Now this is not a knitting channel, but it is a big part of my life and it's growing, and I'm really excited about sharing a couple of things about it with you guys. So if you're not into knitting, it won't be that long of a video, so hopefully you'll just enjoy seeing what I do other than sewing. And if you are into knitting, hopefully I won't say anything wrong because I'm not an expert. I am a beginner. So I will just share my experience so far that I've had with my knitting projects. So first things first, I want to talk about how I learned to knit. So basically, I subscribe to Bluprint. I'll put a link for it down below. I use this subscription service to learn all sorts of things. They have cooking on there, they have knitting on there, they have sewing. I took my first sewing class online on there. And when you take the class, you're just watching it basically on your own time, whenever you have time, and you can watch it whenever you want, and it's always there. So as long as you're subscribed. And if you buy a class particularly, I think you can always have that class. Even if you're not subscribed, you just permanently have it forever. So anyways, really helpful. So I learned how to crochet first, and then I decided I wanted to start knitting because I felt like there were more pattern options out there and more kits that are available, and it just seemed like there were more designs that I liked. And so I was like, okay, I love crochet, I have had fun with crochet, but I want to learn how to knit too. So now I know how to do both. I know how to crochet a lot better than I know how to knit, but I'm still learning. So to begin with, I did the projects in that class. I followed the instructions exactly. I bought exactly the type of yarn I needed. I made the projects in the class that I took. I will try to remember which specific class I took and link it down below. But it was a great class. I learned a lot. I learned all the basics. I learned the two different types of knitting. Of methods, I guess, that you can knit, and I chose to do the continental one, yeah, then I just went for it. So after that, I was still a little confused on the gauge and like what type of yarn I needed for what project. Even though I'd been crocheting for a long time, I wasn't really used to like the knitting terminology, so I kind of was a little bit of a wuss, and I started, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I started with knitting kits because I was like, well, it's gonna come with the exact type of yarn I need, like the exact needles that I need, and yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna start with that. So what I started with was the simple scarf. After I had made the projects in the class, which I don't even know where those are because they were like not good at all, okay? But the first real project that I made that was actually good was a scarf, and let me get it out. So there are two main websites that I buy my kits from. One of them is We Are Knitters. They are not based in the US, but they ship to the US for free. I think if you spend like a pretty minimum amount, because most of the kits are not super cheap. Not the ones I buy because I'm buying sweaters, but most of the kits are you know, like $30 and up at least. And I don't know if the free shipping is, but it's pretty good. So this scarf I made first. It's kind of like a marbled, sort of a marbled yarn. It's really beautiful, like pinks and pastel colors. It's a plain scarf, squared off, same amount of rows, like, I mean, stitches in each row, no increases or decreases or anything like that. And I believe that this was like a knit one, purl one type scarf. So it was kind of like a lot for for a beginner because you're constantly having to move your yarn to change the type of stitch that you're doing. So it took me a little while actually. Luckily it's chunky yarn, so that made it go a little bit faster. So I was really happy with this. So I wanted to keep going. So I think at the same time I ordered this kit, I ordered another one from We Are Knitters. This one I love. It's super simple. I think it was, it's kind of been through a lot lately, but it is like knit one row. Actually, I think you just knit the whole thing. Yeah, I think it was like knit, turn around, knit. I think we knitted all the rows, but I can't really tell. And then you drop a stitch or two. There might have been 2 stitches that we dropped. And it tells you how to do that in there. And then it just kind of makes this little ladder effect all the way down. And it's the best color. I think it's ochre. So this was called, the first kit was actually called the Strelitzia Scarf. That's this one. And then this one is called the Sandmand Scarf. So in case you're interested in purchasing it. And it was just so nice to have all the supplies, the knitting needles that I needed. And they were straight needles, so I didn't have to worry about knitting in the round or anything like that. It was super simple and great projects to start with. So then I decided I was going to make a sweater. So I had this kit. I think I actually ordered this at the same time as well. And it is called the Nolita Sweater. And I have pictures. I actually have pictures of me wearing all of these that I'll be popping up. But I have pictures of this as well. It is a white, actually like a cream sweater. It is knitted just like this. You knit this part and then you knit the back. Then you knit the sleeve and the other sleeve. So then you can stitch the sides together underneath here, down here, and you will be attaching front and back and everything as well. I think you attach it at the shoulders first. It's pretty much like sewing. You attach it at the shoulders and then you go down the sides. So I use a crochet needle for this now because it's a little bit easier. Like you can stick it through, grab it, but there are some tutorials on YouTube about that. But anyways, the only problem with this scarf is that it's so thick. So like if I want to take it on a trip somewhere, it's like, look how big it is. And the other thing is, it's really warm and it does get cold here, but it doesn't always get that cold. So I don't actually wear it as much as I thought I would, but if you live in a really cold climate, it's perfect. So that's that one. So that was kind of that's my bravery. My first brave project, I guess, was a actual sweater. So I was super proud of that one. So then I also ordered a shawl, but I haven't made it yet. But I've got it in like a pink color. And I'll try to link the shawl that I got up here so that you can just kind of see what I picked out, but I haven't made it yet. Actually, it looks really easy. I just haven't gotten around to it. So then I kind of started branching out. I started thinking, okay, Victoria, you need to stop buying kits. You need to be able to branch out and like make other things. So I've started following this one account on Instagram called Good Night Day. And she came out with a book and I ordered her book. She also has, it also came out with an ebook and she has beautiful patterns in here. And I started first with a chunky yarn pattern and I went ahead and ordered, I think some yarn from Wool and the Gang, which is another great website. Lots of kits on there as well. In fact, I bought a kit from there that I will show you in a minute. But the first pattern I started with in her book is the, Trefann Sweater, I think. So it's really hard to see in this picture, but I will show you pictures of my sweater that I made. I took plenty of pictures. But basically it's kind of a wide sweater that's a little bit cropped and has like little more puffy sleeves. It has like this very interesting top part. It's hard to see in this picture, but I'll post my pictures above. And it's really cool because it was the first time that I started knitting with circular needles. And I ordered them online and there's plenty of places you can order those from. And I really like knitting in the round because, and knitting with circular needles because then it's just, the sweater is just knitted top down and you don't have to like seam any of the sides or anything like that. And I think it looks a lot better and it's a lot more seamless. So I really liked this and it really wasn't that hard to do. There were a couple of areas that I got really confused with, but she has a lot of knitting tutorials and saved in her stories on Instagram, and I use them all the time. So that was the first one I made of hers. Oh, let me show it to you. Actually, I have it right here. So there it is. You can see how it's a little bit fancy up here, and then it's kind of regular down there, and it's got some little, you know, kind of like a puff sleeve there. She does have you check to see if it's as long as you want it to be. So there's a point in the pattern where you decide whether or not you're done. And it was about here for me, and I thought that was too short, so I made it a little bit longer. Of note, I did block all of these projects, which is kind of takes a while to explain, but basically you wet it with some like wool soap or no wash out wool soap that you can buy. And you lay it flat to dry. Sometimes it takes a couple of days, but it really helps the wool relax and it helps it form a good shape instead of being all crinkly and rolly like it does when you first make it. So, or like it is when you first make it. Anyway, so that's that one. So then I decided that I was going to make a cardigan. So this cardigan I'm super excited about because it's gorgeous and I can wear it in the spring and the fall and the winter, maybe not the summer depending on how cold it is, but it's called the, let's see, Perth Cardigan, I believe. Yes, so I actually made it in a very similar color that she made it in, but it was really easy to make and it's so gorgeous. I was a little disappointed, hopefully you won't see it, but I have a couple of little blips or mess ups when I joined new yarn. But I think it ended up being okay. But I went ahead to put the fringe in. It's really hard to see because I'm holding it up and it's strange, but that's that one. It smells nice and freshly blocked with my wool soap. But anyways, it's gorgeous. I love it. I have worn it so many times already. It's so easy to put on. And I really see myself making another one, maybe like not putting the fringe on there. It really didn't take me that long to make either. So I really liked that. That was also knit kind of top down. It wasn't in a circle because there's an opening in the front, but it did use circular needles and I never had to join any pieces. It was all just knitted top down. So that was really good. And there were a lot of times that I went to her her Instagram page to look for knitting advice. So I, after all those winter outfits and after all those winter knitting projects, I decided that I wanted to have a summer knitting project. So I started on this one top. It's called a Bianca Julep Tee, and it is a knitting kit from We Are Knitters. And I had started on it a while back, and I kind of abandoned it because I think I started it last summer, and then it started getting cold, so I just decided I was going to make some more warm pieces. But then I wanted to start knitting for the summer again, and I didn't quite want to pick up that project just yet. I will eventually, but I found a sweater that is like the cutest sweater. It is another kit from We Are Knitters, and it's called the Sabrina Sweater. I talked about it before when I was working on it with my vacation video, and now it's done. So I want to show you some pictures. I'm so excited. I love it so much. So here we go. Here are some pictures. I want to show you two kits that I purchased that I am so excited about for the summer. And I may not even get to these this summer, but this is how the We Are Knitters kit comes. So this one, I actually got these colors. There are 2 different colors like on the website that they have pictures of. And this happens to be one of the ones they have pictures of. So there's like a red and white one, but then there was a blue and white one, and I got that one because it looks so cute. So I cannot wait to make this one. It uses 5mm needles, which is exactly the size needles that I got for the Sabrina sweater. So I actually don't, when you order a kit, you can order it with needles or without. So I ordered it without needles because I already have those. So it makes the kit a little bit cheaper. And I think I got this in one of their sales. They're like 30% off sales. So I wanted to show you that one. And then I got this one. So this is a cardigan. And it's really big and really long. So it's going to take me a while. It's 5mm needles, so I know it's going to be a little while. Same size as the other one. And let's see, this is the color I got. It's so pretty. It's kind of like a wine purple. Let me see what they actually call it, because they probably have, yep, the name is wine. So that's what I got. So yeah, I'm excited. It doesn't look like that difficult. And actually, this kit is rated easy level. And then I think that's one step above beginner. I think they have a beginner level. Because they rate all of their kits. So I think that one will just take a while, but I don't think it's like difficult necessarily. This one's intermediate, and I'm guessing it's because of the color changes, which I've never done. But We Are Knitters also has a lot of videos online that help you kind of understand any kind of technique. And I was going to tell you, I forgot to talk about this sweater and the little baubles on here. I know I mentioned this in my previous video when I talked about this sweater, but these I think are what make it intermediate, but they're so easy to make. They're a little intimidating like the first and maybe second time you make them, but they are like just super simple. Once you get the hang of it, it's just like so easy. So that's an intermediate kit. So I'm not quite as afraid of the intermediate kits anymore now that I've conquered that one. And then there's one more kit I bought a while back. It's by Wool and the Gang. It's called One Sweet Sweater, and it's an easy knit. And it's Tina tape yarn, which is like a cotton kind of, but it's like a really soft yarn. And it's this like sweater that has a v-neck and like little ties at the end. I thought that was really cute. I may not do the ties. I might change it if I feel confident, but I got like a light pink color, which I guess that's just the theme lately. It's just pastels and pink. I'm like, I need to change it up. But yeah, and it's 100%, actually not cotton, I misspoke. It's 100% tencel or lyocell. So that's awesome. It's still gonna be breathable. It says it's made in Turkey, and it's called Cameo Rose. So it comes with the right amount that you need. You can select your size, and it will change the price, of course, and it will change the amount of yarn balls that are in there as well. Let's see. I have recently discovered there are thousands of people out there with great Instagrams, great knitting patterns. So I am like just starting in this game, but I have found 2 others I want to mention. One of them is clubknit.com. I went ahead and ordered a kit from her. She has this beautiful cardigan that I want to try. It kind of has like a balloon sleeve, and the yarn looks really soft, and it was the Alexa cardigan. So I ordered that, and I think that's coming from Switzerland. I'm pretty sure it's shipped already. And then there's another one called Petite Knit, and she has the most like chic patterns. They're so cool, and she has some for kids as well, so that's really cool. I really liked her patterns. And then Goodnight Day has another pattern she came out, and I never talked about Ravelry, but Ravelry.com is a place where you can find a ton of knitting patterns. Some of them are free. A lot of them you can purchase, but that platform has a place, has a way for a lot of these companies and independent pattern companies to sell their patterns, and they have crochet on there as well. So Goodnight Day has a profile on Ravelry.com, and she sells her patterns individually there. A lot of them from the book that I talked about, she has on Ravelry.com, and a lot of them have them on Etsy as well. But she has a new one called the, let's see, Kelowna Sweater. And it's beautiful, and I really want to make it. And I really liked the yarn that she used, and she wrote down the yarn that she used, and there was a link there. So I clicked it, I went to the website and purchased that yarn exactly, because I'm still not overly confident on like changing up the yarn that's used for the pattern. And so I went ahead and got that, and that is coming in the mail. So I think I'm good for knitting patterns and knitting kits for probably like 3 years or maybe longer, because I got so very excited because I'm having so much fun knitting. And I really just knit at night, like, or if I'm at the doctor's office, or if I'm on the way somewhere and I'm not driving, or I'm watching a long movie with the kids. That's really the times that I knit, especially long trips and plane rides. I bring it on that too. And you would be really surprised at like how many times during the day that you have time to just fiddle with your hands while talking to somebody else, while watching a YouTube video, listening to a podcast, whatever like you want to do. You'd be surprised at all the time you have. So I love this hobby. I feel like it keeps me busy when I can't like be in my sewing room, and I'm still creating, and so I'm still getting the creative juices flowing. And I've even started thinking about how I can like alter a knitting pattern and like hack it. And so it's really exciting because it's so similar to sewing, but it's also like completely different, and I find it very relaxing. So I did not expect this video to be so long. So if you're still here, congratulations, and thank you so much for watching. I will update you guys periodically on my knitting projects. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up so other people can find it. It will help YouTube put it out there. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I have another video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, let me know below. And have a good day. Love you guys. Bye.